Hello, welcome to another special Sudoku solve video. Today I am not, not starting on Logic Masters Germany. This was sent in by GDC to the Cracking Crypto Discord channel. It is this puzzle series on the infections puzzles, and it's the third one. Yeah, and I saw it on the Discord and I thought, okay, well, I couldn't find it on Logic Masters Germany yet. I don't know why or if he plans to upload it, but I did want to look at it because I really enjoyed the series so far, and yeah, I would like to try to see more of it because the infections is very interesting. Um, so let's start by GDC. Culture 1 shows rapid transmissions through water. We'll have to check if that can be replicated with the more common variants of the virus. Normal L-Dokes, normal Sudoku rules apply. Infection sites. Each digit matching its box number is an infection site. Each row and column contains an infection site. They are infected. Infections. Infected cells infect every orthogonally adjacent cell with a smaller digit. Infections keep spreading until no infected cell has a smaller uninfected orthogonal neighbor. Every infected cell can be traced back to one or more infection sites. Nurikabe, so I was sort of correct. In my head, it was going to be that the islands were going to be the infection, but apparently it's the water. All infected cells must be orthogonally connected. No 2x2 area is fully infected. Detector cells. A digit in a circle is uninfected and counts the number of infected cells in its up to 8 surrounding cells. Cocky dots. Joined uninfected digits that differ by... Oh, join uninfected digits that differ by the number of dots joining them. Okay, no, that was on me. The, okay. I don't know why that structure feels weird to me. Makes sense. Okay. So, let's see. The detector cells are uninfected, and the cocky dots are uninfected. So they are a... as we call them in the field, they are a, what is it? Contamination. I was looking for the English word. So every puzzle thus far started in this box because 9, any digit next to a 9 will be smaller than it. So if this is 9, that will be smaller, so it would have been infected. So those cannot be 9, and that cannot be 9, so that is a 9. That's our first. Well, then all of those are infected, then all of those are not, because no 2x2 is infected. And that can never be infected anymore. So that's a 3. So those have to be smaller than a 3. So this has to get out because it has to connect to every other infection. Right. Okay. So what now? I guess 1 is an infection site, right? So where is the infection site in this box? It's not in those. And it's a 3, so it's not in those, so it's there. That's a 3. So one of those is a 2. And an infection site, I guess. If none of those can be 8, no, but that doesn't make sense. Right. If any, I'm looking where can the 8 go in this box, right? If it's there, this has to be higher than 8, and it would have to be a 9, and it can be. Same for this, so that's not 8, that's not 8, so one of those is the 8. If any of those is 8, that would have to be bigger than an 8 and be a 9. And there cannot be 9 uninfected cells. So those aren't 8. That's our 8, or infection 8. Be precise. We know that this is 1, 2, or 3. because they can see maximum of 3 cells. Also I made that green, but it has to be red. One of those could be 9 and block it off. It does infect at least one of those cells, because not both can be 9, but one of them is infected. Meaning that this is at least a 2, at least a 3, so at least a 4. So it's between 4 and 8. Well, 4 and 7, because it cannot be 8. That's a lot of options. I'm going to label that real quick, just so I can remember. Right, so where is 7? 7 isn't one of those, so that's not a 7, I guess. If that's a 7, we have a problem, because then this will be infected. One of those, that's an infection, so that's not an infection, that's an infection site. The way I'm labeling this does require a lot of coloring, but I don't really seem to mind. No, I don't really mind, because this is more clear to me, to keep track of the infection sites. The infection site in this box is one of those, and it's a 6. Everything has to connect somehow. Right, so 5 is, yeah, okay. Not really useful. Can this be a 2? I think possibly 1 and infection goes. Feel difficult. Well, let's see, okay. Can this cell be infected? 4, 3, 2, 1. No. Can this cell be infected? We have the same issue. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No. Can this cell 4, 3, 2? Possibly. It's hard to connect everything, isn't it? Because how are you going to get this 1 connected to anything? This 4 cannot grab it. This 2 cannot grab it. So something else has to grab it, and it's going to probably be this 5. It'll have to be, right? This 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, that cannot attach to it. 3 obviously cannot. 7? No, okay, okay. So 5. 5 is in this box, and it will have to attach to this. 5, 4, 3, 2 is a possibility. Can 5 be here? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No. So this would have to be the infected 5. How else are you going to attach anything to this? It's not the 4, it's not the 2, it's not the 3. It'll have to be the 5. This is where I'm very afraid to make mistakes. Oh. Didn't want that. I wanted to do 2. Make that a circle. Make that red and remove that 2. Now this 5 can go 5, 3, 2. No, it couldn't. 5, 4, 3, 2 is possible. 5. Okay, so if it goes this way, it is impossible. 5, 3, 1. Yeah. 5, 4. 5, 4, 3, 2 is the only way. It is the only way. It is the only way. Okay. So those are green. I don't know. That I am so scared of making an assumption there, but that does feel very, very correct. If I'm going to be honest. This 2 could never connect, this 3 could never connect, this 4 could never connect, so it would have to be this 5. And this 5 can either go up or left, and it isn't left, so it is up. Then this 4 couldn't go that way because it's then not 2 or 3, and if it's 1, it's a dead end. So it would have to go this way, and then it has to be 3, and then to connect it has to be 2, 1. Yeah, okay, so it's true. Now this 4 cannot have any smaller digit in here anymore. So this is all green. This could never be infected. This would have to be at least a 5. And it can be a maximum of 7, I guess. Just to label it. Right. So this is not a 4, and that's our 6. That's an infection site. And that's our infection site. We have all the infection sites. It is somewhat more doable than I thought it'd be. Okay. It is the season of getting sick again, and I'm afraid I'll get sick. 1. One of those are 1, so one of those are 1. But if the 1 is on this dot, it will have to be with a 2, so it isn't. We know that that's a 1, we know that that's 2, that's a 1. So one of those are 1, but we know it's not this one. And if this one is a 1, this will always be bigger than it, so it isn't, so that's a 1. We don't know the infection color, right? The thing is, this 3 has to connect to something. 3, 2, 1. Right. So where's this 3 going to connect to the rest? If let's say this is green, right? It cannot go up above because it will never connect, so it would have to do this. But then if this 6 wants to pick it up, it would have to be through here, but that 1 blocks it. And this 3 could only extend to this 2, so that isn't true. This is red. And it is not, it's smaller than 3 and it's not a 2, so it's a 1. Right, that couldn't even be a 2 anyway. So could that be smaller than a 3? And then the answer is no. That could still be a 2, I guess. 1 second. My throat started to hurt, so I went to grab some water. Let's think. Where was I? Yeah, that's 3. That could be a 2, so it could be infected, but that never could. So none of those can. This 1 could. But that does mean, how does this infection going to connect to the rest? Through here. Now this is either 5 or 6, and it's not a 6, so it's a 5. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's not a 1. Right. This is then green, because don't form a 2 by 2, so that's green. How is this 1 going to be picked up? 6, 5, 3, 2. Okay, so not by this 8. 8 is not doing it. So it's from this 5. But that couldn't be a 2, so it has to be a 3. Like minimum. So then how are you going to attach to it? It has to be 5, 4, 3. There is no other way. Oh, is this possible? 6, because it's not 7. 5. Not 4, so 3, 2. That couldn't be 1. Okay, no. Makes sense, okay. So this is the case, and this is already 6. 6, green. That couldn't be infected. Because 1 or 3, 2, nothing, yeah. But like that. That is green because of this 5. One of those is a 5. What was the join uninfected digits that differ by the number of dots joining them? So that's a 5. That would be a 2 or an 8. That's not possible, so that's not a 5. That's a 5. So what digits do I have left here? It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 6. Well, the 6 couldn't be on this dot. That I can see. Because if 6 is on the dot, it's with a 3 or a 9, and none of those are available. So 4, 7 is the only pair that works. Now, if that's an 8, that's a 6, that would be a problem. That's a 6 and that's an 8. That would all have to be higher than 6. 7, 8, 9. Where that is not an 8, that's not an 8 or a 9. That's a 7. That's then an 8 or a 9. Right. Well, that went well, I would say. Oh. But then, if this is a 2, we would have a problem. So where are you going to place 2 in the column? Because if that's 2, then that's either 1 or 3, and it's not. That's a 2, and it's red. Then I'm missing 4, 7, or 9. Okay, so the only place in this column where you can place 4 is here. 4 and 7, and that's a 7 or a 9. So this is... It's either 6 or 8, but it's not a 6, so it's an 8. Also, both of those are higher than 6, so they're also 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9 triple. And this is 2, 3, and 4. 2, 3, and 4. And I'm missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 5, 6. And there's more missing here. There's also a 4, yeah. Okay. 1 and 3, 1 and 3. So in this we have... Oh, also 3, 4, so that's a 2. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So those digits are the digits 1, 2, and 3. Because, right, that's not 1, 2, 3, that's not 1, 2, 3. So where are you going to place the digits? It's there. If that's a 1, that's going to be a 2, 3 pair, and those are both going to be infected. That's a problem. If that's a 2, then this is a 1, 3 pair. Those are both going to be infected. That's a problem. Because then this could never be a 2. So that's a 3. That's our 1, 2 pair, and those are both infected. So all of those are uninfected. Right. And then either it connects through this. It could do something like that, right? I don't know yet. I would still have to think about it. But I'm doing normal Sudoku right now, so I want to continue with that a bit. One of those a 5, because that's a 5. One of those a 4 by Sudoku. One of those a 4 by Sudoku. Oh, well, this 5, sorry, that places that 5. Okay, I'm happy I saw that. That's... Also, this is not a 4 or 5, this is a 6. It's a high digit. Very high digit. So of these 6, 8 are going to be infected. Of those 8, 6 are going to be infected. 2 of them aren't. I don't know. I don't know yet. 6, 6. That. Then I've made a mistake. Then I've made a mistake. 6, 6. That's not 8 or 9. That's 6 or 8. Have I used this logic in it? Okay, so, well, anyway, I've reverted to that now. I'm going to refill everything in. 7, 8, that's 2, 3, or 4. This is still... Where's 2 in the column? It's still there. That's still... Oh, no, 2, I said. 2 in the column. That's still that. Then we have 4... But I'm missing 4, 7, and 9, so that's still 7 or 9. And this is still 6. Then this is still 6 or 8, so that's an 8, yeah. So that's a 4. That's a 7. Still all seems correct. That's a 5 or a 6. Okay, I didn't ever use this, I'm pretty sure. Still the 3, 4, that's still a 2. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that's still a 1, 2, 3. And that's still, it has to be a 3. Okay, that all is still true. This is all fine, I think. This 4 also places the 4 and the 3. Okay, I think we're okay. This 4, 5 still makes that a 6. And now we're at the point where this is a 6. Yeah. Okay, I just like that, but yeah. What do you do? That 5 still plays the 5, of course. Is that green? I think I also made that instinctively green. Oh, because of the 3, that's true. So that couldn't be... This all has to connect to this somehow, so it goes through here somewhere. We'll have to figure out how. You have 2 and 1 to play with in this box. Because this area does contain the digits 2 and 1. Right, it's going to be complicated, I think. Well, let's make about this. If this is 1, then both of those are green. And those are both going to have to be higher than 7. None of them can be 8 and they cannot both be 9. So that's not a 1. So one of those is going to be red. One of them could be 9. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I'm still quite sad I've made that mistake because I don't like that. This digit, where is it going to appear in this box? It's there, 7, 8, or 9. What have I not used? I have not yet used this. I need 2 green digits in the circle around it. But it obviously cannot be both of those. Can it be this one? Because that would mean it would have to connect down here somewhere. 8, 6. No, not 6. The next smallest digit. If the infection doesn't come through here, right? If one of those is green, then the 8 would have to connect to the rest. I'm seeing if it possibly could. The next smallest digit is a 5. Then we have a 4, 2, 1. Not a 4, because that's not a 4. 5, then that has to be a 3. 3, 2, 1 is still possible, though. 5, 5. One of those a 5. 2 and 2. One of those is a 2. Oh, well, no. That could also be a 2. One of those are 2. If that's a 3, then... Yeah, well, okay, well, that makes sense. If that's a 2, then one of those is going to have to be a 1. And the other is going to have to be a 9. If that's a 2, then this is a 1-9 pair. Well, 1-9 to be exact. If that's a 3, then that's a 1-2 pair. This is a 1-2-9 pair. Because if that's a 3, right, then those are both infected, but they're both smaller, so they're a 1-2 pair. And if that's a 2, then we need a digit higher than 7, which is 9, because it's not 8. And we need a digit smaller than 2, so that's a 1. This is a 1-2-9. So it's either 1-2 or 1-9, so definitely one of them is 1. So that's a 1. I don't know if I was supposed to work that out, because that feels a bit forced. It feels a bit like bifurcation-y, I think. Well, maybe. Maybe it's just how it is. 2, that's, yeah, so that is always infected. So either that's a 3 and that's a 2, or it's the other way around. Yeah, I don't know. 4, 4, 4, so that is a 4. Then one of those is a 4 because of that one, so that must be a 4. Five and 5 makes one of those a 5. If that is a 5, do we have a problem? No, because 8 could connect down here, right? Yeah, I think so. Could that 4 be green? 7. It would have to be 5. Couldn't be 5, so that would have to be... If this is green, this would have to be smaller than it. If it's red. Or no, then it would have to be a 9. If that's green, then that would have to be a 9. Because if it's red, it would have to be smaller, and it can be. So it would have to be green, so it would have to be a 9. And then this 8 has to infect all of this. And I don't think that's possible. It could be. Five, 3, 1. What is this then? Like 3, 2. Well, not 3, 2, so maybe. Actually, is this infected? Because it would have to be smaller than 8. It's not. What digit is this? It is not 4, 5, 6, or 7. Not 1. It's not. It could be 9. 9, 2, or 3. But the point is, if that's 4, we determine that that's 9. So all of this would have to be infected. But that would have to be a 3, and then that would have to be a 2 to be infected. And that's not possible, because that would break that cell. This is not green, this is red. I don't know. I'm not sure. How is that infected? If it's through here, it would have to be by a 6 or a 5, and it couldn't be. Could it be infected by this 8? I said 5. No. Okay, no, it couldn't. So it would have to be infected by the 7. Not through here, but it must be through here. And so that has to be a 5 and it has to be infected. Not a 5. That's not a 5, that's a 5. And it is infected. Tough. 5, that's 5, that's a 6. 5. I'm again very scared that I've made a mistake. Because I feel like I could miss an option. But this was just me not paying attention. I've noticed that lately a bit by myself, but that's probably because I'm busier with school and everything. Maybe that's also an excuse. No. I have just been busier and that's fine. But it has, I don't know, made me... What's the other digit I'm missing here? It's a 6, isn't it? So that's a 6. That could never be infected. How could it be? No, it couldn't. Right. So I have one more green digit to place. And if it's this, you could do the 3, 2. No, 2, 1 isn't possible. You can place them then. So one of those a 2, one of those a 1. And they kind of reach down to accept whatever comes from here. So it's either 3 there, or it's a 3 there. Interesting. Oh, interesting. Okay, so one of those is a 3. Because it's not a 2. Ooh, no, I shouldn't say that because it could be a 1. No, because the 1 would have to touch that. No, it couldn't be a 1, so it's a 3 that accepts it, so that's a 2. This is a 1-3 pair. I don't know which is red. Well, both of them are, I guess. But the 3 is the digit that accepts the connection. So that would have to be green. That's already 6. So it would have to be bigger, so it would have to be a 9. It would have to be a 2, that would have to be a 3, and it's red. That's a 3 in the corner. The 3 in the spotlight. Losing its religion. I don't know, I'm tired. If that's not clear. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 9. Oh well, that 2 places the 2, which is infected, which places the 1, which is infected because it has to connect, and that's a 3 and that's a 1. And this is then 7, 9. Well, okay, I can place that 7, 9, which are both uninfected. That's all the coloring done. 9, 8, 7, 7, and we're missing 9 and 4. Well, okay, I don't know. Not much to be done. What am I missing here? It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 as well. 7, 9 as well. Okay. And I'm missing 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3 and 8. I'm missing 3 and 8 in that case. So that must be an 8. Okay. What am I missing in this row? It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm missing the 9. 6 in that case. 6. 1, 2, 3. I'm missing a 4. 4, 4, 9, 9, 7, and 7. That's it. Okay. This one was a bit easier than the other ones. GDC already said so. But yeah, it was. I'll check if other variants are also waterborne by agonized screaming in the background. We might have to continue research someone else. I'll head to Mr. O's office and check the security cameras. But I told you he is acting weird. We don't have time for this. Let's go. I got your back. Steve, will you join us, Norma? To be continued. Okay, so there is another one coming. So, okay, which coloring schemes have we had? We have had loop. We have had... I forgot. Anyway, and then we have Nurikabe. Then now we have... Oh, it was caves. My bad, it was caves. And now you have Nurikabe. Which one do you... Yeah, yin yang, but I don't think yin yang is very applicable in this. I have the caves thing, the lights, right? But that is an alteration of... I don't think that's the case. I'm curious. I'm curious what the next one will be. I'm very hyped for this series. I also really like the use of the the visuals, and the setting in general is great. And I like that combination. I've seen you've had like Marty Sears get pretty well rated puzzles, and he takes a lot of time into his visuals, and it does make the puzzle a lot more satisfying, and that I really appreciate. Right, it is time for a cause, and thank you for doing that, and thank you for making this puzzle. If you see this, I know GDC sometimes watches this. Have a nice day. Thank you. Bye bye.